Yes,
we
sir.
start?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Mayur. So introduce yourself to the board.
Sir, my name is Mayur Hazarika. I am from Tezpur, Assam. I have done my schooling from Tezpur itself. And after that, I have done my graduation from Guwahati Medical College in MBBS degree. After that, I have done 1 year of rural service as medical officer in Nagaon itself. And then, sir, my hobbies include watching and playing football and solving Rubik's Cube.
Okay, Mayur. So how was life in Guwahati?
So it was good. It was mostly during my graduation period. I made a lot of friends and also had the opportunity of serving in Guwahati Medical College, one of the most prestigious hospital of Assam.
Okay. So what were the issues, challenges you faced there while you were practicing there?
Uh, Sir, it was mostly with my academics during the college life. And sir, however, after that, I have done 1 year of internship in Guwahati Medical College or in hospital. And sir, mostly the challenges that I faced were basically with the workload. The workload was very high since it is a very tertiary institute. So there were a lot of cases, and the work schedule often continued for like 10 to 12 hours a day. And sir, besides that, I didn't see any other issues. Whatever issues were there, I thought of more as an opportunity to serve the society.
Okay. So basically, do you feel that basically our tertiary centers are more overloaded because our primary centers and the secondary centers are not functioning properly? Would you
Yes,
like to
sir.
comment on that?
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, in some aspect, I would say that I would probably agree with the sentence. Sir, yes, obviously there is issue with primary sector. The first issue with the primary healthcare institute is the doctor-patient ratio in the primary sectors is not up to the mark. A lot of doctors don't, not only doctors but also paramedics, they don't prefer to go for rural services, and as a result, the quality of healthcare access to the at the primary level is also low, and because of that, people often go to secondary institutes or other tertiary institutes, and that in turn results in higher workload at the tertiary institutions.
So what could be done to incentivize doctors and paramedics to go there?
Yes, sir. So basically, I can think of 2, 3 reasons because of why doctors and paramedics don't prefer to go there. So firstly, the infrastructure issues. Often in the rural areas, the infrastructure is not good. So we can probably improve the infrastructure of the hospitals as well, because that would help because the doctors and paramedics won't feel that their potential is being underutilized in the rural setup. And secondly, sir, we can also allow the doctors to practice in the private setup as well, even also even if they are surviving in the rural sector. So that would also kind of work as an incentive for them to work in the rural sector.
So basically, if you are even if the doctors are practicing in government setup, you want them to practice in the private sector as well.
Ye- Yes, sir, only after hospital hours, and also ensuring that their service at the government sector is not hampered. Only after ensuring that their service at the government sector is remains
How would you
unhindered.
ensure
And
that they are giving their best in the government setup?
yes,
Usually, the
sir.
doctors prefer private OPDs over the government setup.
Yes, sir. So we can ensure it in like 2, 3 ways. Firstly, we can go for biometric attendance system in the hospitals. So secondly, we can go for if feedback mechanism with the public, whereby the public actually gives a feedback on the be it online or some other mechanism, and so that we can actually keep a track on how the doctors are serving or serving at the rural level.
Okay. What are your views about the telemedicine?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's a very innovative and a good and I'll say a very positive aspect of the recent scheme, and I think it would help in help in accessing quality healthcare service for the people, because it would reduce the time that is required to reach a hospital, and also through this telemedicine, the patients will be able to get opinions of doctors before they know that in which department they actually need to go. That would reduce uh, the problems that they have faced often in the hospitals. They don't know in which departments they actually need to go for that particular ailment.
Okay. So how basically how does your patients rank you or give you the feedback?
Sir, it can
Basically,
be
have they?
based.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, sir, is it about personally about me or in
Personally
doc?
about you, how they have rated you usually.
Okay, okay, yes, sir. Sir, I have often communicated with the patients on a very personal level, and I think that doctors should actually maintain a personal touch with the patients. Talking about them at a personal level often helps them in communicating their diseases in a more open manner to the patients, to the doctors. And so I think that probably most of my patients would rate me as a very cordial and friendly doctor.
Okay. And how would you rate yourself on a scale of 10?
Sir, I would probably rate myself at around 7 or 8.
Okay. So basically, you are a very good doctor, right?
I hope so, sir.
So why you want to join civil services and waste the knowledge you have acquired?
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a inclination towards civil services even before I joined medical. However, during the period of my MBBS graduation, that earlier desire it actually became very strong, and I finally decided that I'm going to attempt for the civil services.
So what was your optional subject?
So my optional was anthropology.
So you could have chosen that as your graduation subject, right?
Yes, sir.
If you had decided for to go for civil services in your school years.
Yes, sir.
Why did you wasted one seat of medical?
Sir, I don't think that this is a wastage of seat. Sir, because firstly, I'm not living medical science. I am a doctor and will remain so. And whenever my nation will need me to serve as a doctor, I'll be on the forefront, as I have already served in the COVID duties as well, in the COVID ICUs, OPDs. Sir, and then secondly, I don't think that this is a waste because of the attributes that I have learned during my medical graduation period. Those will be very critical and helpful in serving as a civil servant. For example, sir, in a casualty ward, each and every moment is a crisis, and we have to learn to make the best use of whatever resource we have within the very optimum time period. I think that working in that setup, I have become a very good crisis manager, and I think that the skill would be very critical in helping me serve as a civil services.
Okay. Why do you think that people in our country have a indifferent attitude during the golden period, basically golden hour to say, when any accident or any mishap occurs?
Yes, sir. Sir, accidents can be of multiple types. Often there is the road traffic accidents, and also there can be accidents at home or other workplace occupational hazards as well. So basically, the first issue is that if it is a road traffic accident, then people don't often want to get into litigations because if uh, they are involved in carrying the patient to the hospital, they often fear that police might come for other investigations to them for them. So in this aspect, I think that we can actually pass legislation in this aspect for example, like a Good Samaritan aspect, which actually gives an incentive for people to actually help those who have met with a road traffic accident. And sir, also in case of factory or other occupational accidents, sir, as far as I have seen, most of them actually come in a very early as possible because I think they are not at such a fear that police might be actually inquiring about their co-workers.
Okay. What do you think is the role of a civil servant?
Sorry, sir.
What do you think is the role of a civil servant?
Yes, sir. So the role of a civil servant is very dynamic. Firstly, sir, he's a responsible. He or she is responsible for implementation of various government schemes. And so secondly, he at the higher level, they are also involved in policy making and formulation. So thirdly, it is the role of a civil servant to actually communicate, to actually be the communicating line between the public and the government. He can actually communicate what the public needs or is demanding for to the government, and then accordingly he can communicate what the government is trying to do for their benefit. So also there,
In the times of technology, the government could communicate directly with the citizens, right?
yes, sir.
Then what's the
Yes.
need of a civil servant?
Yes, sir. Sir, obviously the government can directly communicate with the public through use of technologies. However, sir, here we need to look at there are certain sections of people who cannot actually communicate through the government because they are not because the internet literacy is not that high in India yet. And for that section of people, obviously that human touch is very important because because since they are unable to use the internet services or other mobile technologies, so that's why they might need a human face to communicate with it. And secondly, sir, obviously the human face and the human touch can never be replaced by technology. Technology creates a very mechanical type of communication. On the other hand, a person can obviously give a more human touch to that aspect of communication.
Okay, Mayur, last question from my side.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are the SP of Nagaland session on Ram Navami
So,
is supposed to.
sorry, sir. Actually, hello.
Okay, you are able to hear it?
Sorry, sir. Actually,
Yes.
it
Are you
paused.
able to hear it?
Yes, yes. Now I can hear.
Okay, you are the SP of Nagaon. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and our procession on Ram Navami is supposed to take out in your district. Be taken out in your district. Okay.
Okay.
How would you approach this?
Okay. Yes, sir. For the procession of Ram Navami, first of all, the whoever is taking the lead of the procession, he or she will need to communicate it to the authorities, and if it is communicated accordingly by the legal process to the authority, that is, if it is communicated to me, then I will ensure that first of all, I'll actually tell them a route that they can go for safely, that they can take. And after mapping out that route, I would ensure the presence of adequate number of security personnel along that route, so that no mishaps or other untoward incidents happen during the course of the procession.
Anything else?
Uh, Sorry, sir. Right now, this is all I can think of.
Okay. Thank you, Mayur. Now, next panel member would be asking further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Mayur. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Mayur, any three qualities that defines you?
Yes, sir. So firstly, so I'm always eager to learn. During my medical period, I have learned that that their knowledge is very vast, and we should always be open to learning. Secondly, sir, I'm
Okay.
optimistic. I try to find solutions rather than complaining about a particular situation. And thirdly, sir, I have a sense of I think I have a sense of compassion and empathy because during my medical period I have communicated with lots of patients, and during that period I have developed that quality in me.
So tell me any one scenario where the natural reaction would have been of pessimism, but you are optimistic and you have changed the situations.
Yes, sir. Sir, while I was serving at the COVID ward, actually one of my nurse, we were allotted teams, and one of my nurse actually got in some kind of verbal altercation with the patients, and the situation quickly escalated, and a lot of patients were actually came down. And so in that situation, instead of panicking, I actually went out and communicated to the patients and told them, and I talked with them. They told that they have certain requirements. For example, they need some soaps, some agarbattis, etc. And accordingly, after I took all their complaints and I settled the matter and made sure that whatever they were asking for were provided at the earliest possible.
So why there was the role of optimism or pessimism there? That was just a situation in front of you, and you
Yes, sir.
managed that.
Yes,
Were
sir.
you able to think? Uh, were you able to get the time to think in an optimistic or pessimistic manner in that situation?
So no, I'm seeing it from the perspective that a pessimistic person would have been like, uh, the problem has already emerged. I won't be able to handle it, and I should probably contact my seniors, because there is a provision of contacting our seniors, because we were the junior doctors and they were obviously senior doctors. So instead of directly panicking and giving up on my own abilities, I actually tried to solve it on my own. So from that perspective, I'm saying that I was optimistic that I
It
will be
can
able
be
to
a
solve it.
it can be a better example of ownership of the situation. Good.
Okay.
Uh, from your DAF, I see that you have never been outside Northeast India.
Yes,
Have you
sir.
any experience of living outside Northeast India?
Sir, living as in the longer term, I don't
Longer
have.
time.
Sir, no, I don't have that experience. However, I came to Delhi in December after the mains result was declared, UPSC mains result.
Okay. Any cultural shock that you got while you arrived at Delhi?
Um, Sir, not till now.
No, you don't think that Delhi people are very stereotyping people from Northeast?
Yes, in that aspect, yes, I actually I met a student, another candidate, and she was from Delhi itself, and I had another Arunachal friend from Arunachal with me, and we were talking, and then she was commenting that you can probably serve at the border on Chinese side. So yes, I think that obviously there is uh, this sense that northeastern people actually do not belong to India among certain
So,
sections,
Mayur,
not unique. Yes.
does this stereotyping exist in Delhi or metropolitan, or such stereotypes also exist in within people of Northeast India towards the people coming from this part of the land?
Sir, I think that obviously there will be certain sections of people who will be stereotyping. That might be a minuscule or might be a larger section. But I do believe that the people of Northeast are much more welcoming and they are much more hospitable towards the people of other sections of India, and they do not actually comment because we actually believe that we all are part of one country and we are all brothers and sisters.
But there will be stereotypes that if you meet somebody coming from Delhi in Guwahati, your first impression will be of some stereotypes, preconceived notions, isn't it?
So my personally, it won't be, and I think that most of the people from Northeast won't be. However, there will be a certain section of people with such type of stereotypes.
So, what are the stereotypes toward the people coming from Delhi?
Sir, I don't know. I don't hold such type of prejudice.
No, you don't hold that I would agree. But on an average, what people think about people coming from Delhi?
Sir, I think I think the people of Delhi are much more direct in what they are conversing. They are they are more they don't put icing on what they are trying to say. They just communicate it in as direct manner as possible.
Hmm. So in Northeast India, there is a problem of illegal immigrants coming from Bangladesh and other neighboring countries.
Yes,
How
sir.
do you see that? Is it a large scale problem as it has been projected, or it is just a minuscule problem, but for political advantages, it has been projected as some very huge problem?
Yes, sir. Sir, the problem of illegal immigrants to Assam has been a problem even after since independence, and that has been continuing. And I do believe that actually that is a issue which needs to be addressed. It is not such a minuscule issue. For example, sir, a BSF report last year had indicated that during the past 3 years, more than 3,000 illegal immigrants were actually captured and sent back to Bangladesh. So that just represents the number that is actually captured. There are lots of people who are actually going uncaptured through the boundaries. So that is just a quantum of it, and so the implications of it are, so firstly, the economic implications. There is a lot of this actually comes with a burden on the demography, and also, so basically there is illegal encroachment of land. The government is actually carrying out several campaigns against eviction against these illegal encroachments. So then thirdly, sir, there is also issue of this high fertility rate among those communities. Studies have shown that the fertility rate among those communities are actually very high as compared to the average TFR of Assam. And sir, fourthly, sir, the issue is that of demographic change. The percentage, since they are like their reproductive rate is very high, so there has been a rapid demographic change in Assam as well. And not only Assam, sir, you
So,
can look at the example of Tripura, where the Tripuri types have become the minority. They just represent around 15 to 20% of the Tripura now.
okay, maybe. So what solution that government is offering is doing NRC and then sending back immigrants to their original state. Do you think it is a feasible solution?
Yes, sir. Sir, so the government, the first issue of NRC is not that very difficult. If we want, we can carry out a very proper and extensive NRC. But the second part of the issue is very critical, because it will be very difficult to convince other countries to take back those who have been left out of NRC. Sir, I think that in this aspect, we need to talk with on a diplomatic terms with other countries as well. For example, Bangladesh, we can carry out diplomatic conversations with them if they are willing to take the those who are excluded from NRC. However, if they are not taken from NRC, they are not accepted by Bangladesh, we can actually go for distribution of the populations around different parts of India, rather than just Northeast taking the blunt of that huge immigration, illegal immigration. We can actually distribute the population in other parts of India as well.
Don't you think that will promote more immigration?
Sorry, sir?
Don't you think this will encourage immigration
Yes.
to India, because then they will be legalized?
Yes, sir. Sir, for that, we have to go for border security. That is the only solution we have. We have to go for fencing of the border and proper manning, as well as using other technologies. For example, CCTV cameras or other thermal or laser
So
beams.
are we right now having porous borders with Bangladesh?
Sir, sorry, sir?
Is there no border fencing with the border with
Sir,
Bangladesh
yes.
right now?
Sir, there is fencing. However, there are certain sections of that border which is not actually very strongly bordered or fenced. And that is why, sir, that BSF report has revealed that 3,000 of
So
those have been kept.
why we are not bordering those areas when it is creating a national problem?
Yes, sir. Sir, the bordering of that areas is actually very challenging because of the terrain of that region. And northeast, as well as those Bangladesh area, it has a lot of riverines, as well as very little, as well as hillocks as well. So the bordering of that is actually a very great challenge because of the geographical terrain of that area.
So which technologies we can employ there?
Sir, we can go for CCTV imaging, and sir, we can also go for laser beam capture.
Does CCTV work? Does CCTV work in such a terrain?
Yes, sir, it will work.
Why we are not installing it on Pakistan border towards J&K?
Sir, because at that height, because of snowing or other reasons, the visibility is affected. But in Assam or that Bangladesh, the altitude is not so high, so the visibility won't be affected.
Okay, one solution is CCTV. Other?
Sir, we can go for laser lining as well, so that if someone crosses through the laser line, that gives an alarm.
Okay, it can be alarm, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last question, or second last question. India claims many achievements in terms of surgery in ancient past.
Yes, sir.
It claims to have invented surgery and proven records of surgery and something like that. How far do you agree with such a notion?
Yes, sir. Sir, I do believe that Indians actually made significant progress in terms of surgery in the ancient times. For example, we have got the surgeons like Susruth, who actually started eye surgery, and actually he has documented how to do rhinoplasty. The same procedure is actually in a lot of terms followed even today in modern ENT as well as cosmetic surgery. So, sir, I believe that actually it is true that Indians had actually contributed to the field of surgery. However, there was not a proper exposure of these findings of Indians to the world, and that is why it remained unknown for such a long period of time.
So were we able to do plastic surgery as well?
Sorry, at that time, yes, sir. Sir, yes. Sushrut actually did rhinoplasty because at that time, the women, there was certain tradition that a woman who had done some sort of crime, her nose was cut off. And actually, Sushrut did rhinoplasty on those women of the society at the time.
So no, I am just asking whether it is just written fact, written thing, or there are some evidences for that.
Sir,
I can write that Weber has invented a system by which a person will disappear from this place and will re-emerge from other place. That is a document, like a
Yes.
story. But are there any proof?
Sir, actually, those the book of Sushrut Samhita, it actually gives out a very detailed procedure of how the process of rhinoplasty can be carried out. And based on that,
Okay.
obviously, yes.
It is scientific.
Yes, sir. To some extent, yes. Obviously, it is scientific.
Okay. Okay, Mayur. That is it from my side. Next board
Thank you, sir.
member will continue with the interview.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayur.
Good evening, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chalo, let's start with a very basic question. Tell me the names of all the northeastern states along with their capitals.
Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar, Assam, Dispur, Nagaland, Kohima, Manipur, Imphal, Mizoram, Aizawl, Tripura, Agartala,
Sikkim.
Gangtok.
So is Sikkim also considered in that part of northeast?
Sir, in the conventional Seven Sisters of Northeast, it is not a part of Sikkim is not part of that Seven Sisters of Northeast.
But it is not part of the Seven Sisters, but it is part of the northeast, right?
Yes, yes. I was thinking of in terms of Seven Sisters.
No problem. Now tell me, how many states does Assam has a border dispute with?
Sir, Assam has a dispute with active disputes with 4 of the states, neighboring states.
Which one?
Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Mizoram. However, the dispute with Mizoram has mostly been solved.
Okay. And primarily, what are the basic reasons because of which these 4 states have been in dispute with Assam?
Yes, sir. Sir, if we go back to the historical basis of this, the basic reason is that all the 7 states of Northeast, all the 6 other states of Northeast were at one point of time parts of Assam. And since they were divided from Assam, some sections of people in those bordering areas, they felt that maybe they should have been part of the other state rather than the state they were actually given allotted to. So that is the basic reason. And also, sir, there are issues with resources as well. For example, one of the reason for conflict of Assam, Nagaland is the Merapani region. So it is rich of oil, and that is one of the reasons for why that.
Okay. So what are the mechanisms available with the central government and state government to resolve these disputes? Because nobody will allow any part of their territory to go out because it is a political issue as well.
Yes, sir. So firstly, we have the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. As for we can approach the Supreme Court in this aspect. As for example, Assam and Nagaland, they approached the Supreme Court in this aspect.
We can approach directly to the Supreme Court without these 2 states sitting together and talking at some other level, or is it ideal to just approach Supreme Court every time?
No, sir. This is not ideal. And
so
just
Supreme Court approaching the Supreme Court should be some kind of last resort, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me from the beginning.
Okay, sir. So firstly, we can go for interstate negotiations. As for example, with Assam and Meghalaya, so there have been 12 patches of conflict zones, and both the states have actually managed to solve issues along the 6 of those 12 regions. So that is the best possible solution. And so secondly, we can actually go for if the issue is around the economic or mineral resources, then we can go for distribution of taxes from those areas. As for example, Assam and Nagaland, they have decided to share the taxes from the Merapani region. And so thirdly, obviously the interstate council can intervene. The interstate council can help the states come to a favorable solutions for all the states. Fourthly, sir, the central government is.
Continue.
Okay, so fourthly, the central government can act as a mediator between both the states and help them settle out their issues along the borders. And fifthly, sir,
So in the
Supreme
last
Court.
25-30 years, what has been the success of interstate council as far as these border disputes are related?
Yes, sir. So the success of interstate council in the border settlement dispute has been not very significant. So because
Okay.
most of
So now let's say that in the northeastern region, interstate council has not been very successful in resolving disputes. So
yes, sir.
maybe interstate council would have been able to resolve some kind of disputes in other parts of India, maybe in some other states. Do you have any idea about it?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of that.
Do you think interstate council is a body which should be continued, because it is, as far as I think, it has not been able to show any result in the last so many years. So why are we continuing with that body?
Sir, just because a body is not showing any immediate results or results at par, we
No, I'm
cannot
not asking about
discuss.
any immediate results. They have not been able to show any long-term results in a very large period of time.
Yes, sir.
Why are
Sir,
we continuing with interstate council?
sir, obviously the interstate council has its potential, and that potential cannot be denied.
So
It would help.
every time we say that somebody has a potential, so that should we keep, suppose Baichung Bhutia does not play in 50 international matches. We all know that Baichung Bhutia has a lot of potential. You are a fan of football still. So do you think that we keep on giving him time and again and not giving chance to some other young football player?
Yes. Sir, I don't. Sir, according to me, we cannot apply the same example to the interstate council as well, because interstate council is just one alternative or one platform for the states to communicate. The states have other platforms of communicating as well. For example, there can be directly bilateral negotiations among states. So that is just another platform which might actually work in like collectively there. If a number of states are facing certain issues, then they might actually use that platform to raise their voice or actually cooperate with each other.
Okay. Who heads the interstate council?
Sir, I'm actually getting a little bit confused. I'm Prime Minister.
No problem. No problem. It's all right. Now, you must have heard the news that recently China has renamed some of the part of Arunachal Pradesh, some villages.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
And in retaliation to that, India says that we do not agree to this. We will not allow you to rename this and that. We have a history of Aksai Chin also, where China is building some infrastructure. We keep on saying that Aksai Chin is an integral part of India, but we do not do anything on ground. China is doing whatever it wants, in the last so many years, and we just keep giving lip service that we strongly condemn this. How far do you think that this verbal strong condemnation at national and international level been able to help India? And why do we even do it when we do not do anything on ground?
Sir, I would prefer to differ with you on this topic. I believe that India has actually working on the ground. It is
what
not
has India done so far as Aksai Chin is concerned?
Sir, not exactly in Aksai Chin. However, India is
I'm asking
developing
specifically about
infrastructure.
Aksai Chin. What has India done in the last 30 years in Aksai Chin?
Okay, sir. With respect to Aksai Chin, I would have to concur that no significant infrastructure project has been made in exactly Aksai Chin. However, around that region, India is working on infrastructure. For example, there has been the Darbak Shok, Daulat Beg, Uday Road,
But
and then
that's it. Not nearby Aksai Chin. I'm asking about Aksai Chin.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose tomorrow we start saying that Afghanistan is a part of India. It has historically been a part of India. We are renaming Afghanistan as maybe Hindustan 2.0.
Okay.
And we keep on doing it for the next 50, 60 years. Does that make any sense?
Sir, no, I don't think that it makes.
Why do we keep doing the same thing for Aksai Chin? Why do we keep calling it as an integral part of India when we are not able to do anything on ground?
Sir, I think it basically goes down to our sovereignty and territorial integrity. We
Have
cannot
we been able
actually
to maintain our sovereignty as far as Aksai Chin is concerned?
Sir,
be honest. Don't try to be diplomatic. Just be honest.
Yes, sir. So with respect to Aksai Chin, I don't think that we have been actually able to maintain our territorial integrity with that aspect.
So
however,
why don't we just give that part to China on paper? When our first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru also said that nothing grows there. There is not even a piece of land, grass.
Yes.
And grows there. So why are we keeping that with us? On paper, at least,
Sir,
in our ego.
Sir, to give that land away to China would mean that would actually.
No, I'm not saying to give away the land to China. I'm saying that China already has that land, and
Yes,
we
sir.
are unable to do
However,
anything about it. I'm just saying to accept the defeat.
Sir, I think that if we give up our demand over that region, this would actually encourage other neighbors of India to claim parts of India and make it
Like what?
Sorry, sir.
Like which other parts of India?
Sir, like the sorry, sir, I'm forgetting about that tract of water related, sea related dispute between India and Pakistan. I'm forgetting that name.
Sir Creek?
Yes, sir. Sir Creek conflict. So Pakistan will also make it
And the example of POK does not come to your mind?
Yes, sir. It comes. But in that aspect also, sir, with respect, it is almost similar to Akshay Chin. Pakistan has even allowed China to make CPEC over that region.
So,
however,
don't you think that as a growing economy and a country which wants to be a global superpower by 2047, and we claim
yes,
that we will become so, we are not able to handle Pakistan and China on our piece of land. So we are just thumping our chest without having any kind of actual strength.
Sir, I don't think so, because to actually claim those regions and to go into a battle with those countries or war with those countries is not judicious for a developing country of India like India. Sir, I don't believe that 21st century is actually an era of war, and we cannot go into war with those countries for reasons like this. So yes, I believe
do you
that
think,
this.
be honest and tell me that, do you think that if we keep on talking with Pakistan and China and saying that please give us our land back, are they going to do it?
Sir, I said that remains for the future to be seen. However, I don't think that they will concede those areas to India.
So what option does India have if not war to get this land back?
Sir,
Chalo, no issues. We'll move on to some other question now. Mayur, you said that you have solving Rubik's Cube as one of your hobby. Who
yes,
invented
sir.
Rubik's Cube?
Sir.
Okay, his name is Arno Rubik.
Yes, sir.
Inventor. He is an architect from Hungary.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is your personal record in as far as Rubik's Cube is concerned?
Sir, I'm not a fast solver. I just solve it at an amateur level. I try to solve it.
Still, how much time do you take?
1 minute 20, 30
1 minute
seconds.
is still a pretty good record. So is there a particular algorithm to solve Rubik's Cube, or
yes,
how do you solve
sir.
it?
Sir, there are actually a number of ways to solve it. This is one of the most basic solution is to go by layer, and every step actually involves algorithm.
Mm-hmm. So if I mug up the algorithm, can I do it? Anybody can do it? If I mug up the algorithm?
Yes, sir. After mugging up, also we have to go for proper application of that situation, algorithm. Because every situation we have to actually identify which situation demands which type of algorithm. It's not fixed that after following this algorithm you have to go for this algorithm.
Okay.
That sequence is not fixed.
Suppose I'm solving a Rubik's Cube and by mistake I drop my Rubik's Cube in a bucket of paint. How many cubes will get painted?
How, sir? Okay. 27.
Sorry?
26 cubes.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Chalo, we'll discuss this after some time.
Okay, sir.
Total, how many possibilities and configurations are possible in Rubik's Cube?
Sir, 43 quintillion possibilities are there.
Okay. And quintillion is equal to how much?
So 16.
10 raised to the power. How many zeros are there in front of 1?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
But you said that number quintillion, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because you read it for the interview.
Yes, sir.
10 raised to the power 18.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Chalo. Tell me, which is a better pension scheme, old pension scheme or new pension scheme? What is your opinion about it?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think that new pension scheme has a number of advantages. For example, it reduces the fiscal burden of the government as well. And
How,
also,
by how much? Do you have any figures for that?
sorry, sir, I don't have any number for that.
So, but you said that it is financially better than the old pension scheme. What was the
Yes.
burden on the government when OPS was there? And what is the financial burden on the government if NPS is there?
Sir, actually, I'm not aware about the exact comparison of the two. However, I know that so this year, financial year, the pension amount was 5% of the total outlay.
Mhm.
It was 2.9 lakh crores for this financial year.
So if NPS is good and central government and most of the economists are saying the same thing, why so many state governments are reverting to old pension scheme? Is it only to garner to get more votes, or there is some actual logic behind it?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is some logic behind this as well, because
Like?
I have come, so I have come to know, I have met a few people who are saying that the pension amount that they are getting in other NPS is very low, like around 3,000 or 4,000 per month. And I think that is not very sufficient for a family of 4 members or 3 or 4 members to run at that age. And sir, because of that, I think, and also there is an issue of politicization as well. Because it is like good politics, bad economics for reverting back to OPS. And so I believe that the solution to this is to make a hybrid solution of both OPS and NPS, as in case of Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh, the amount that is given is 33%, that is fixed amount. And the rest of whatever he gets as a pension amount is actually comes from a scheme almost similar to NPS, whereby a certain amount is actually invested in a certain amount in certain aspect, and from that whatever returns come, he gets his amount as pension.
Okay. Now suppose you are posted in a hospital, you are just a resident doctor there.
Yes.
And there is unfortunately a patient of yours died. All his relatives are now banging at the doors of the hospital and they are very agitated.
Yes, sir.
You are the person, you were the person who were taking care of that patient.
Yes, sir.
Now you are very afraid that you will come out and they might thrash you up. This is very common nowadays. You might have
Yes,
heard and seen in
I have actually faced it.
experienced it, right? Now,
Yes.
in this actual scenario, how are you going to handle these agitated relatives?
Yes, sir. Sir, first of all, in most of the cases, the patients don't die abruptly. They're obviously
No.
medical.
I don't want to hear the logic. I am an agitated relative.
Yes, sir.
Maybe my younger brother just died. Now you
Yes,
come
sir.
and talk to me. I
Okay.
have come with 10, 15 wounds and I'm standing in front of your clinic and maybe the hospital.
Okay, so I was about to communicate that even before the death occurs, we actually tell, it is a common protocol now that we actually inform their family members that the patient's condition is critical, and we might actually prefer to refer him to some higher center if I'm at a primary or secondary center. So even after that, if the people are agitated, then sir, firstly I would communicate this to the police, to the nearest police station first, even before going out to the public. And I will inform him, and then also inform the hospital superintendent, because his directions will be very critical in ensuring the police action, how fast they are. And after that, I would actually come out and inform the patients that although I in most of the situation I would have already informed him earlier as well. However, I would inform that best efforts were put from our side. However, despite our
And in
best
case,
efforts,
suppose unfortunately they get a hold of you and they start beating you, and then after beating you up, you are very hurt. You have injuries on your face. What action will you take after that?
sir, immediately after that, or like in
Immediately after that, maybe immediately after that, after an hour, what will you do?
okay. Sir, first thing is that I have seen my friends as well who actually got beaten up very bad. But having worked in a medical profession, we don't actually retaliate physically. We don't retaliate at any cost, like at that moment. However, after that incident happens, I would actually take legal actions against those persons who have beaten me. And also, if there is vandalism in the hospital, I would take actions against those people and to make and also ensure that due compensation is made to the hospital for the vandalism that was caused.
Okay. Now, in one of the answers previously asked by one of the questions asked by one of the members, you said that Northeast people, I'll just quote you, Northeast people are more welcoming.
Yes.
And there was question about discrimination between, people from
Yes,
Northeast
sir.
and other parts of India. So I want to know that based on what facts or data can we say that the people from a particular region are more welcoming than the people of some other region?
Sir, I think we
Or is
cannot
just
go.
a feeling? Or is it just a feeling?
Yes, we cannot go for an objective or empirical data of that. However, we can actually quote.
This is how you
sir,
feel that Northeastern people are more welcoming than others.
Sir, no, I would actually quote the former president of India, Ramnath Kovind. He actually went to Assam recently, and then he commented that he had never received such sort of hospitality as he had received in Assam.
Okay. And if some other president of India goes to maybe Tamil
Yes,
Nadu,
sir.
and he or she says that I have never received this kind of hospitality before. So
Yes, sir.
do we have any
Yes,
kind of
sir,
comparison
this is
there?
very subjective opinion.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we can say that Northeastern people are very welcoming, not more welcoming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is
Indeed.
yes, I would agree that was my mistake of mine.
Okay. So last question from my side. Messi or Ronaldo, and why?
Sir, Messi for me. Sir, because so firstly, his skill and his dribbling skills are very beautiful and graceful to watch. And so secondly, he is also a very hard worker. Although people often say that Ronaldo is a much hardworking person than Messi, I would agree that yes, he is very hardworking. However, we have to look at the life story of Messi as well. He was suffering from growth hormone deficiency, and he actually got injections and lots of therapy. And despite all that, he actually rose to become one of the greatest who have actually played on the football pitch.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Mayur. Now your interview is over. We'll keep you in the waiting room for a couple of minutes. Okay.
Okay.
And then we will admit you again.
Okay, sir.
Just relax. Okay. Have a glass of water. We'll call you back in some time.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.